a group of wealthy managers decided to cruelly prank a poor janitor. They set up a fake blind date for him. But when their CEO found out, she did something no one expected. And this was only the first part of the revenge. Because Marcus, this so-called pathetic janitor, had a secret that would turn everything upside down. If you want to see how karma catches up with the villains, hit that like button. If you think revenge is wrong, write in the comments why. Marcus Hale, 47 years old. He had been working as a janitor at Preston and Cole Industries for 23 years, one of the largest investment corporations in the country. Every morning at 4:45, he entered the building of glass and steel. He mopped floors, cleaned toilets, emptied trash bins of young managers who earned more in a month than he did in a year. To them, he was invisible, a ghost in a gray jumpsuit. But they did not know three things about Marcus. First, 25 years ago, he was one of the most promising students at MIT, a software engineer. His graduation project on artificial intelligence was called Revolutionary. Second, his father died 3 months before graduation. Marcus dropped out to support his mother and younger sister. And third, but we will get to that later, that will change everything. Brad Collins, 31 years old, junior vice president. He drove a Tesla, wore a Rolex, and posted quotes about hard work on Instagram. On Friday evening, he and 4 of his friends, all golden boys, sat in the bar on the 47th floor. Brad smirked and said, "Have you heard the news? Old Marcus the janitor thinks he deserves a service award. 23 years pushing a mop." Laughter. Jason suggested, "Let's set him up on a date. We will hire an actress. She will show up, tell him he is pathetic, and leave." On camera, Brad squinted and said, "Even better. Let's tell him it is a real date, that a woman admires his hard work and kind eyes. Can you imagine how he will dress up? How he will hope?" They created a fake profile. They messaged Marcus. He agreed. The plan was perfect, or so they thought. On Saturday morning, Marcus stood in front of the mirror in his small apartment. On the hanger was his only ironed shirt. On his wrist were his father's watch, stopped 25 years ago at 11:47. He looked at a photograph on the wall. An old picture of him, his father, and some elderly man in an expensive suit. On the back, a faded inscription said, "Marcus, your father would be proud of you. If you ever need me, call me. RP." Marcus ran his finger over the photo. 25 years, Mr. Preston. I did not want to bother you." He put the photo away in a drawer. No one knew that RP in the photo was Roger Preston, the founder of Preston and Cole Industries, a man worth $4.7 billion. And no one knew that Marcus was. Wait, too early to reveal. Saturday noon, La Fontaine restaurant. Marcus sat by the window. His hands were shaking. He ordered water, the only thing he could afford on this menu. In the corner, Brad and his team, phones ready. The actress was supposed to arrive in 5 minutes. The door opened, and it was not the actress. Evelyn Carrington, the CEO of the company, 39 years old. Tough, fair, came from the bottom. Her mother was a maid. Her father left them when Evelyn was 8. Brad dropped his phone. What is she doing here? Evelyn walked straight to Marcus's table. She sat down. Marcus Hale? He nodded, confused. Half an hour ago, my personal assistant overheard 5 idiots planning to humiliate an employee of my company. I decided to come personally. She turned to the managers. Gentlemen, the show is over. The entire restaurant froze. Evelyn spoke, looking at Marcus, but her words were addressed to everyone. My mother cleaned other people's houses for 30 years. She was humiliated. Called the help. I watched her cry at night, thinking I was asleep. Her voice became firmer. I vowed that when I had power, no one in my company would feel the way my mother felt. She pulled out her phone. Security? Yes. 5 employees. Delete their access cards. As of Monday, they no longer work at Preston and Cole. Brad jumped up. Mrs. Carrington, this is a misunderstanding. We were just joking. Joking? Evelyn slowly stood up. You turned human dignity into entertainment. Your joke just cost you your careers. Security escorted the managers out. Brad shouted across the restaurant. You will regret this. My father is on the board of directors, Evelyn said coldly. He was on the board. Until next Wednesday. Evelyn sat back down. She looked at Marcus. I checked your file this morning. MIT. Programming. Degree not completed due to father's death. Marcus nodded. Marcus, why have you been working as a janitor for 23 years? With your knowledge, you could have, he interrupted quietly. Because it was necessary. Pause. My sister has cerebral palsy. She needs constant care, special equipment, medications. My salary was just enough for that. Evelyn froze. I worked nights, slept 4 hours. But my sister received the best treatment, and that was more important than my career. Tears in her eyes. You sacrificed everything for your sister. I did not sacrifice. That is called family. The entire restaurant listened in absolute silence. Evelyn pulled out her phone. She dialed a number. Mr. Preston? Yes, this is Carrington. I need you to come urgently to La Fontaine. This is about Marcus Hale. Marcus turned pale. Why are you? 10 minutes later, an elderly man entered the restaurant. 82 years old. Silver hair. A cane with a golden handle. Roger Preston, the founder of the company. He saw Marcus and froze. My God. Marcus? Is it really you? Marcus stood up. Mr. Preston. The old man walked over. He hugged him. 25 years. 25 years I have been looking for you. You disappeared. Did not answer calls. I thought. Tears streamed down Roger's face. Roger sat down at the table. His voice trembled. Evelyn, do you know who Marcus is? Former MIT student, sir? No. Roger shook his head. 26 years ago, I was in a car accident. The car caught fire. I was trapped. Pause. Marcus's father, John Hale, pulled me out of the burning car. Saved my life. But he himself got burned. Seriously. Marcus closed his eyes. I paid all his bills. Treatment. Rehabilitation. But 3 years later, he had a heart attack. He died. Roger looked at Marcus. I promised your father I would take care of you, pay for your education, give you a job. But you disappeared. Why? Marcus said quietly. Because I did not want to live off a debt. My father saved you because he was a good man, not for money. I wanted to achieve everything myself. Roger cried. You became an exact copy of your father, a stubborn idiot with a heart of gold. Roger pulled out his phone. Evelyn, starting Monday, Marcus is the new director of innovation. Salary $300,000 a year, plus company stock. Marcus was shocked. But I do not deserve, you deserve it, Roger said firmly. You sacrificed yourself for your sister for 23 years, worked 2 jobs, never complained, never asked for help. Evelyn added, and we will cover all costs for your sister's treatment, forever. Plus, we will create a fund for families with special needs in her name. Marcus could not speak. He just cried. The entire restaurant stood up. Applause. Waiters. Cooks. Customers. Everyone. a moment of absolute triumph. Monday. Marcus entered the office, not through the service entrance, but through the main hall. The story spread throughout the company. The CEO and founder stood up for the janitor. People greeted him, shook his hand, apologized for years of ignoring him. Brad Collins? His father was indeed removed from the board of directors. The story about the joke went to all professional chats. Brad looked for work for 2 months. No one hired him. He finally got a job as a manager at a fast food restaurant. One day he was cleaning tables and saw Marcus, who came in for lunch. Their eyes met. Marcus nodded, without anger, just acknowledgement. Brad lowered his eyes. He understood. Karma. A year later, Marcus created an artificial intelligence system that increased the company's profit by $340 million. His sister received the best treatment. She started walking with the help of an exoskeleton that he helped develop, and the fund in her name helped 1,847 families with special needs children. The story of a janitor who turned out to be a genius. The story of a CEO who protected the invisible. The story of a founder who repaid a debt to a friend. And the story that sometimes those we do not notice turn out to be the most valuable of all. Subscribe. The next story is about a homeless man who turned out to be an undercover millionaire. What he did to those who humiliated him shocked the entire city. And write in the comments, do you believe in karma? Or is it just a fairy tale?